Good Sunday morning for those on Facebook and those who are wending their way into the sanctuary. I'm Reverend Pam Geagan, and it is an honor to be with you this morning. And so now it is my honor to invite our wonderful Rev Lynn Chaplain Noe up for our opening. Good morning.
Okay, everybody, hold it down, everybody. And how we do that is teaching and demonstrating skills for living an abundant and successful life in a compassionate and loving community. And there it is, see? And there are the flames of faith. In the olden days, we used to actually do our best to light the flames of faith with an iffy fire starter. That's an old memory. But when we do now symbolically light the flames of faith, we're acknowledging all religions. We're the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley, and we believe there is one presence, one power, one way of life, and that's all God. And so when we light the flames of faith, we acknowledge all religions, Buddhism, Sufism, Christianity, could go on, Judaism, go on and on and on. And we celebrate those religions that step forward in love. There's that one fine thread that runs through all true religions, and that fine thread is love. We are love, we come from love, and we celebrate the oneness within us all. And now, of course, this is my favorite part of the day, is when we get to see Reverend Betty Ann's quote, and here is Rev Pam.
Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Rev Lynn. So in honor of our wonderful Reverend Betty Ann in the Heaven World, we feel her presence, we know she's here, and with her wisdom, together, let us read this. I know that good is set into motion in a wonderful way. I accept my success in all affairs. Thank you, God. And that's our wonderful Reverend Betty Ann. And now it is my honor to introduce, because our subject today is when the road gets tough, the tough get going. Everything is New by Daniel Nahmod. Please enjoy the YouTube.
Bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. Think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. And no more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Daniel Nahmod, via YouTube. And gosh, I remember years ago seeing him when he was first getting started, and what a presence he has become in New Thought music. So, I'm Pamela Bailey. I'm the lead practitioner here, and we're going to have an affirmative prayer. So if you would join me in your prayerfulness, however that looks, and just taking a deep breath. And in this day, this beautiful, almost fall day, knowing that this too is God. All of it is God. All of it is good. And this theme today of when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And so as I know, excuse me, as I know in this moment that within us is all that God is, all the power, all the strength, all of the ability to think new thoughts and to create new things. I know that this day I have the knowing, the faith, the certainty that it is all unfolding in its own manner perfectly, and that when things get tough, that's the time to keep going. And so as I move forward, and as life doesn't look the same, this is my opportunity. This is my opportunity to remember that I am that child of God living this life, and that I am in my perfect place, even if, or maybe especially if, it's tough, if it's new, if it's unfamiliar, if it's challenging. Those are the edges where I grow. And so just taking a deep breath and remembering that this is life, this is growing, this is expanding, this is living at a level consistent with who I am as that child of God. So for this day, I am grateful. I am grateful for all the people here. I'm grateful for our wonderful music. And most of all, I'm grateful for life and that I'm here right now living it. And in this gratitude, I release this treatment, knowing that all of it is unfolding perfectly. And together we say, and so it is. And next, I have the pleasure of announcing our announcer with the announcements. Come on up, Buzz.
Soon have the announcements on the screen, I hope. Oh, hey, there we go. Here's what's happening. And I want to welcome you all to the last Sunday of summer. I know that in some ways this year's been a bummer, but Reverend Pam and Lissa Coffey will soon be up here, and I'm confident they will give us many reasons to cheer. Their message will provide the divine perfection that we seek. So here are the announcements for this week. As soon as there we go. Hey, morning mindfulness meditations this week are going to be on hiatus as Reverend Pam goes to Oregon to check on the status of the health of Jenny and Don Sinclair. Let's know their perfection will now be right there. And 7 p.m. Thursdays on Facebook Live, our midweek spiritual uplift will boost your divine drive. Reverend Kelly Bershinsky will host this week's session. Instant Replay is the title of his uplifting lesson. He'll teach us how our life will be free and new when we change our habits and take a new point of view. And keep in mind that, here we go, the class this week is going to be off this week for Wednesday evening, but it'll be back again on next. Our new Science of Mind class based on the text from a book by Dr. Dennis Merritt Jones, whose writing will give your life new tones. Your redefining moments is the theme and the title. It'll provide lessons that to our spiritual lives are vital. It will return soon on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. down in room 4, and this is a message that is really a gem. At 4:30 on the fourth Sunday of this month, Lissa Coffey is the host of a class you will want. The wisdom of Vedanta enlighten our lives, thereby ensuring our divine purpose thrives. It will happen on Sunday, September 26th on Zoom. Her guests and the theme will be announced soon. You can tune in to Lissa after our Sunday lesson. Constant Contact has the Zoom-in link for this uplifting lesson. And please keep in mind our center is always here for you, so please let us know what we can do. The spiritual treatment that we provide will reveal your perfection and allow you to thrive. You can always leave a request by phone or send us an email from wherever you roam. How wonderful it is to once again meet here live in our center that is dedicated to help us all thrive. Your loving donations will keep our center going so we can be here to keep your wellness flowing. Later we will list the online ways to give so you can donate right here today or from wherever you live. 2 other places where you can lend a hand. Please do give them whatever you can. Ventura County Rescue Mission provides the homeless with much good, and Ventura County Food Share feeds the needy in our hood. And please keep in mind our center is part of Ralph's Community Contribution Program. A portion of whatever you spend at the store gives our center a small donation or more. So please do sign up or simply renew, and Ralph's will contribute at no cost to you. Our center's code number is JE859. You can sign up at the store or you can do it online. Another way to help our center for a while is to shop online using Amazon Smile. When you complete your purchase for the items you got, it donates to our center right on the spot. And finally, this week will end summer and start the fall. Let's continue to find ways for our life to be a ball. And that ends the announcements, all I have to say. And now here's Alberto Del Pino with a great song to play. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. The first song I chose to play for you today, it's a song that I wrote a long time ago. As everybody, there have been many ups and downs in my life, and magically, every time I have a down, I come up with a song. So sometimes I wish I have a lot of downs. But, you know, the theme of today being when the road gets tough. And we all have had those moments when the road gets tough. And this particular song is called The Carousel, because in that particular time, I felt like I was in a loop. You know, the same thing would happen again and again, and it wasn't good. So I came up with this song, and the tough at that time was really, the road was really tough at that time. So I wrote this song, and then eventually the loop stopped. So I don't know if it was the song or if it was my attitude toward this loop. So here we go with The Carousel.
deepening served you well. It took you to a higher level. Now, and some of us had the joy of spending time with Alberto, where he played on Friday night, and it was to a full house, really full. Anyway, but it's wonderful to have you with us. And now it's my honor to introduce our practitioner of the day, back again, our Buzz Noe. Yay!
Good morning once again to everyone. I am Buzz Noe. I'm the practitioner of the day, but I'm not the only practitioner here. We'd like to acknowledge all of them. If you are a practitioner here at the center, please stand up. And starting with Reverend Pam, tell them who you are.
Reverend Pam.
And in the back? There we have it. All right. Let's give them a hand, because they are here for all of us, and they keep things going here. We will soon hear from Reverend Pam Geagan, along with Lissa Coffey, as they discuss today's title and topic, which is When the Road Gets Tough, the Tough Get Going. And that fits right in with the Science of Mind weekly theme for this week, which is When the Road Gets Rocky. So both titles refer to the fact that life can bring challenges when we sometimes suffer in our lives from accidents, pain, sickness, bad weather can happen. All the things that can happen in our lives that appear to be a departure from our perception of what would be perfection. So, these are things that make the road of life that we're on sometimes get tough and become a challenge for each of us to get through. At that point, what we want to do is know how to deal with this, and then decide what to do next in our ongoing creation of our individual lives. So for me, I think the very valid for all of us is to always go to our beloved quote from our beloved Reverend Betty Ann, who put this together, which I use a lot. My life is unfolding perfectly no matter what, because the no matter what means that what's going on. You just take that affirmation that your life is unfolding perfectly. You're moving on from this. And the Science of Mind theme had several comments in the weekly theme that had the same thought, affirmation, but in different words. One was, I see that the future is bright with promise, says basically the same thing. And another one, all my tomorrows will be happy and filled with harmonious occupations. All saying the same thing. Let's look forward to knowing it's going to be good. Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, says it this way, I see that the future is bright with promise. And another one from Linda Bremer, and says, I review, renew, and begin anew. Saying the same thing. We're moving on. And this from Martin Luther King, which I felt was very pertinent to what we're talking about today. Our very survival depends on our ability to stay awake, to adjust to new ideas, to remain vigilant, and to face the challenge of change, because that's what life, constantly changing. And from Roger Crawford, this one I liked also, being challenged in life is inevitable. Being defeated is optional. And that brings us down to that message that we give a lot, recognizing that we need to have that mindset that regardless of what's going on, because life happens as it does, that it's always up to us individually to make that decision of whether or not life is going forward good or whether it's happening bad. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. Things that go on, it's up to us to look for what we might be able to do, know, find, see. We go within ourselves, find that connection with God, and know that what's going on, it may not be what we looked at as perfect, but it's a lesson for us. If you get sick, take a look at what you did, what you ate, what happened, what you did, and learn the lesson that not do it again. If you have an accident, the same thing. That teaches you a lesson. So always look for that good part of what's happening rather than the bad. And that's going to move you forward much more readily. And we've always talked about this as well. In addition to spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, it actually does help your physical health as well, to have a positive attitude. Helps your brain, help the rest of your body stay healthy. So these are the lessons that we're going to get when we hear from Reverend Pam and Lissa. And what I'm going to do now is go into a treatment. And so what I'd like you all to do at this point is close your eyes. Know along with me these words as I say them in the first person. That I know absolutely that right here and right now in this singular moment, in the continuing evolution of the time and space continuum that we are in, that there is one source to everything that is. One source that is infinite in its power, infinite in its love, infinite in its kindness, infinite in every capacity, and has the ability to bring forth life as I would choose to have it be. I know that I am one with this source, connected to the oneness of God that we call the single source of life, and connected to everything through that source that is also in this earth and in this universe. It is all one, all connected, all here. And I am personally acting as God, as me, as I bring forth my consciousness into the world and into the universe. And knowing that my consciousness is creating the life I'm leading, I choose that consciousness to always be focused on the good, focused on what is happening that can bring me forward more readily, that can evolve my life into a better representation of what I would see it to be. A lesson that I've learned, a adventure that I've had that can give me more knowledge and absolute confidence that things will be better on the next moment of my life. And with this in mind, we will move forward, and we should always move forward with our consciousness focused mostly on love, adding to that kindness and compassion, sharing, caring, and giving. And with these in our mind, these in our consciousness, these in our subconscious, we will always find the best way to be here and the best way to move forward from where we are. For this awareness, for this ability to create my own life and the life with whom everyone I'm connected, I thank God. And I do send these words on to the oneness, the infinite perfection of God to take care of all the details. When you have infinite power, that's easy, while I, in my finite human element, continue to look for ways to enjoy this life and find a reason for everything to be good. For this I say thank you, God. I release these words, and we can all close by saying together, and so it is. And I'm almost done, but this came up while Alberta was playing, and I had to reference it because, you know, I always like to make rhymes. So here's my final message. When you see shit happen, take a break from crapping, put a brighter cap on, and let your wings start flapping. So, and with that, I once again, what am I doing? Introducing Alberto Dobino.
Thank you, Buzz. So the next song, it's another super sad song. Yeah, I'll bring it up with the third. With the third song, we're going to be a little more cheerful. But this second song is the song that was written in Scotland. We don't really know when exactly it was written, but it must have been in the 17th century sometime. And it's a lament of a mother for the death of her son. And it has been adapted to different situations since the 17th century. At one point in the 19th century, it came to describe a love story as well, not just the mother for her son, but for two lovers, and one of the lovers gets killed in battle. But it seems like the original meaning of the song was, like I said, the lament of a mother for the passing of her son. And the song is the song that everybody knows. It's Danny Boy. So here we go, Danny Boy.
husband's favorites, Patrick's favorites. Yeah. You know that too. I know. You know, I figured this out. We've known each other at least like 25 years, probably. Yeah. You haven't aged. I'm waiting. Oh, and so it is my honor to do our talk, which I call East Meets West, but with our wonderful Lissa Coffey. I always love being with you, and you're another one I've known for at least 25 years, 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
30,
which is
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And I see that we both progressed along with, we both evolved higher and better. We both went through a lot
sure hope
together.
so, yeah, after all this.
So in this East Meets West, we look at not only science of mind principles, but also the principles that come in from that Eastern point of view, from the Vedanta point of view. And so when I see that the road gets tough, the tough get tougher, it means that whatever is put in our path, absolutely you are at choice at all times to flex your spiritual muscle, look beyond it, rise higher. As Alberto so beautifully said, he recognized all of a sudden he was in this loop, same, maybe different people, but same experiences, and rose above. And we've all been there. And so how I get through and the people I admire most get through is by using my spiritual practices and recognizing that in this oneness, in this alpha, in this omega, that we can choose the high road or the low road. And the high road isn't always the easiest because it has boulders and mountains in it. But in the long run, it builds, we rise higher. Yeah.
Okay. I agree.
And so it is.
And so it is. What's interesting is when when you think about it, when the road gets rough, I think the road is always rough. I think, newsflash, people, life is rough. I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's meant to be easy. But there's just times that we notice it more than other times, right? If we take a grain of sand and we look at it under a microscope, it can look like one of those big boulders, right? So even a teeny little rock, a little pebble in our shoe can bother us so much. And it's all about where is our attention? Where is our focus? So if we're walking down a rough road, if we're looking up at the beautiful blue sky and the beautiful green trees and the colorful flowers, that's what we're going to be experiencing. If we're looking down at the rough road trying to avoid the little pebbles and stuff, we're not going to be in a very good mood. We're going to just say, what is with this road? Why didn't somebody fix this road? What's the problem with this road, right? So I think a lot of it has to do with that when our attention is on these problems, these heaviness, these whatever comes into our life, because it's always something, right? I mean, get real here. It's always something. And if it's not us, it's one of our family members or one of our friends, and we feel for them and we have that empathy. So what do? Well, in the 12-step program, they have this serenity prayer, right? And it says, God, grant me the courage to change what I can change, and the grace to accept what I cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference. So if you can take action, take action. Definitely do what you can do. But then there's a lot of times we can't take action. So what do? We look to God and say, God, this is more than I can handle. I don't know what to do. So I'm going to have faith and trust in you, knowing that there's a higher purpose in everything. And I'm just going to put my attention on you instead of putting that attention on thinking that this is so tough and this is so rough and this is so insurmountable that it's going to, knock me down.
You know, it's so interesting. I'm going to reference something Buzz said, that when our body, I think, is such a high indicator too. And when you're, first of all, when you're talking about looking down, you're missing all the beauty all around you. There's a whole different world all around us. But when we're looking at all the rocks, all we see is the rocks and the challenges, as you said. But Buzz said something so interesting, and so did you. It's in the same loop, so to speak. Is something happened to me this last 2 weeks. This never happened, and I pulled my upper back out. And I pulled my upper back, and it was excruciating painful. And I didn't even know what had happened in that moment. And so I spent a day rolling on a bottle and trying to push it back or whatever. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? And I finally got it back in. And then yesterday, the same thing yesterday morning. And I looked to see the awareness of what was I doing, what was I thinking, what thoughts was I focusing on. And what I came to the conclusion is I have computer back. And it's on my right side. It really is. And so I have to change the position of how I am using my computer, how I am moving, and instead of focusing on what's happening, it's look, I am revealing a new way of being that's making my posture better and everything else. So when I turn to that spirituality, those muscles, that spiritual muscle, and as we've said over and over again, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that doesn't mean it says walking through. It doesn't mean building your new mansion there and staying there the rest of your life. We are here in that evolutionary push to absolutely experience something better than a pulled back. Staying in the loop. I always said when I was married first and I got divorced, I dated different people, different names, same dance. And I finally got what I didn't want the dance to begin with, but it was familiar. It was easy. And so once I changed, life changed.
Yeah, it's all about looking within and looking how can I take responsibility? What can I do? There's this old Buddhist saying, if you're walking on a rocky road, are you going to cover that road with leather or are you going to put on a pair of shoes? You can't expect things to, don't make it hard on yourself, right? Just do what you can do. And I think there's this other story. There's a little bird, and he's singing a beautiful song, and I'm going to make it a woman this time, because always in these Eastern stories, it's a man sees the bird, right?
Ernest Holmes always talked
Yeah.
about
Oh my
when
God.
man evolved.
So this woman
Well,
comes.
he's not evolving unless we're in the picture.
There you go. So this woman comes up, and she sees this bird, and she says, oh, this bird is so beautiful. I want to have this bird. So she actually captures the bird. And she's looking at the bird, and the bird talks to her. And she's like, whoa, a talking bird. And he says, the little bird is a boy, I guess. he says, you caught me. But if you let me go, I will give you 3 pearls of wisdom, 3 life lessons that you will never forget, that will serve you well your whole life. But I'm going to give you the first one when you let me go. The second one, I'll hop to a higher branch, and the third one, I'll hop to the highest branch. And the woman says, okay, deal. Let's hear it. So she lets the bird go. He hops to the highest branch. And the bird says, first thing I want you to know is don't let things get you down. Don't torment yourself over regrets and past mistakes. Just let it go. We're all going to make mistakes. Those are life lessons. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just, learn the lesson and let it go. Woman says, okay, that's good. I got that. I'm ready for the second one. So the bird hops up to the next branch and says, now I gotta think of the second one.
I can hop.
No,
I'm so happy I can
I
hop.
should write these things down, but you know what? I never know what I'm going to say because I don't know what Pam's going to say. So I kind of like make it up on the spot.
You
Okay.
usually do. No, yeah.
Yeah. So the little bird says, okay. So then there's this other. Oh, the first one is have no regrets, and the second one is don't beat yourself up. Okay. Okay. Have no regrets and don't beat yourself up. Oh, no, the second one is don't believe everything you hear. Think it out for yourself. Reason it out for yourself. Come to your own conclusions about things, okay? Don't believe everything you hear. So she's like, oh, okay. No regrets and don't believe everything I hear. Okay, got it. What's the third? And the bird jumps up to the highest part of the tree and says, ha ha ha, I got you. I am such a special little bird. I am filled with diamonds. I have all diamonds inside of me, and you let me go, and you could have been the richest woman in the whole city, but you let me go. And the woman starts to get really upset and goes, oh my God, I'm so stupid. What did I do? How could I have made such a big mistake? This is horrible. Oh man, I'm just the worst person ever. What the heck? Oh, little bird, I'm sorry, but I let you go. I guess I let my fortune go away. Can you at least give me that third piece of wisdom? And the little bird says, you know what? I was just testing you. I gave you 2 pieces of wisdom, and you didn't learn from them. The first thing you hear, you believe. You didn't reason it out for yourself. How is a little bird going to be filled with diamonds? How is that even possible? And the second thing is, I told you don't have any regrets, and here you are having regrets. And she's like, yeah, okay. Well, wait. What am I going to do now? And he said, here's your third piece of wisdom. The wisdom is learn and practice what you learn before trying to learn something else. Learn something, embody it, practice it, become it. People in life are always saying, I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more, right? We're making life rough on ourselves because even the simplest lessons we haven't learned and embodied and become, and let that enrich our life. It's like, okay, well, yeah, that's that. I get that. Now the next one, now the next one, now the next one. The simplest things are the most profound and we can learn from. So that's the third wisdom is. And in Vedanta, there's even a word for it. It's Shradana, Manana, Vinyasana. Shradana is you hear something or you read something, right? You take it in. Manana is you process it. You think about it. You let your mind reason it through. And Vinyasana is you bring it out into your everyday life and you practice it. That's the process. You have to go through all these steps. You can't hear this and hear something else and hear something else and hear something else. What good is that going to do you, right? Is your pot really full? No, it's like in one ear, out the other.
It is so interesting because I think some of the new wisdom that is coming down and opening up to it is living with what's so, living in regret land. You regret anyway at the end instead of embracing just what is so. And I think when we live in that, Ernest Holmes said, and I just found this quote here, we live in the eternal question mark. I love that. So living in the eternal question mark leaves us open at the top. And sometimes I think about Ernest Holmes and how he would feel about everything that is not in the world, not of the world, but how spiritually people are now coming together also and seeing some of the same things and also what's happening spiritually in the world. But he said in an eternal, you're living in the eternal question mark in an eternal destiny of a forever expanding principle of conscious intelligence. We are the ocean in the drop of the water, the sun in the rays, heaven in the wildflower. And all of life, which is birthless and deathless, our oneness and changeless is God in and through and as us. And so we are on this journey to open up, awaken, rise higher, open up to more, and go with what so, because the lesson in what so is so rich.
Exactly.
And we can, again, I always say, I always equate this with addiction too, is we can take the high road, taking the road less traveled, to open up to this new awareness of who we are, because that's the most important thing. But also the low road, you're going to have some of the same visions and stuff with drugs and other things, but it is not from the truth of being of who we are. It is the illusion still. It is still a step away. So when we go with what so, and look deeply at what is calling to us, because anytime we're having a hard time and things are tough, it's because we're being called to a higher calling and to open up, and instead of just looking at the pebbles.
There's a line in the Gita that says, the stone, the earth, the gold, all from the same place came. Your enemies, friends, and foes, you'll see, are all the same. Who knows if that person is your enemy? You're labeling him as your enemy, but that person may be teaching you the highest spiritual truths. That person may be pointing you right to who you really are, maybe challenging you to rise to the occasion, right? A diamond has this value that maybe Tiffany puts on it because of its color cut and clarity. But a diamond that your great grandmother wore, that she brought over from, Europe years ago, may be so much more valuable to you than one that's sitting in a jewelry store. What is value anyway? We put the value on it.
It is so true. When Patrick made his transition, I'll just go, I won't say much. Nobody ever steals from me. I'm just telling you. And someone took Patrick's wedding ring. It was just a gold band. It wasn't expensive, but it was that. And I still perseverate about this because of the energetic presence. It wasn't the gold band. It was the energetic presence that was in it that I was so counting on keeping forever and ever. And so what I finally, this just happened the other day, I finally said, let it go. This is 11 years of perseveration. And I'm so exhausted from all of this, but it's exhausting. But I finally figured out just the essence is in everything all around me. It isn't just in that gold band. And what does the gold band represent is that commitment to something higher also. So I'm going with that and letting go of that.
That's beautiful. That's perfect. That's perfect.
So when we are being with what is so, is it possible to just recognize everything that we have ever desired, ever wanted, is already given to us? Knock and the door will be open. And when I say knock and the door will be open, it's that awakening to consciousness. It's waiting for us to be open up to it, as we all have. I've known all of us, some of us, a long time, and we've all had a lot of challenges that we had to rise above or leave the territory. You know what I'm saying? And we chose to be here in this time. I think if we're living in this time, there's a divine purpose for us, because I see it as one of the most rapidly moving times and the most challenging times.
That's the truth. I think it's been scientifically proven, or something, that time has sped up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're feeling it, because we're energetic beings. So we feel it within ourselves. And how do we respond, right?
Yeah.
Rather than looking at who do we blame? How do we do this, right? We just trust and go to source, go to God, whatever name you want to call that infinite being that we're all connected to, that we all are infinitely, and keep asking those same questions, you know, who am I? What is my purpose? How can I contribute?
Yeah, exactly. What is mine to do? Who am I is the most, you're the one who taught me this. Krishna's greatest message is to find out who you are, the authentic self, that authentic fingerprint of God,
Yeah.
to come forth and
Yeah, you have to
express.
play. We have a music video of that. Know who you are now. You guys got to play it in church sometime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it yours? Can we do
It's
it?
mine. Play
Oh,
it whenever you
oh,
want.
bring it.
It's
Send
on
it.
the-
Bring it on.
It's on my YouTube channel. Yeah,
I
it's
would
worked
do
out.
that.
It's really amazing.
Oh, so in closing, I just think that I am so grateful for the spiritual tools that I have learned, and I'm open and receptive to continue looking at that support, that rock that I stand on, that holy ground, and how I know that no matter what, the holy ground I stand on is what is strong. It is not the rocks, the pebbles, or the challenge of the mountain. The challenge of the mountain actually is starting to look better and better all the time. Who wants to be in this rocky field? But that's where I'm at right now, and that I want to consciously cooperate with that which I have not been introduced to in this wonderful spiritual awakening, but I'm so open and receptive because it is the richness of my life, like the energetic presence in Patrick's ring. It is the richness. It's not the ring, it's the energetic presence all around us that I'm willing to let go of all the regrets, open up to all the opportunities.
Om Tat Sat. And so it is.
And
Om
so
Tat
it
Sat.
is. And so it is. We introduce Alberto one more time. Thank you, Alberto. Yeah. Oh, thank God.
This is another song from Scotland, but it's a happy one. Thank God, right? After this speech, it's a positive thought. Even when the road gets tough, it's a positive thing. So here we go. The Scottish people, like the Irish, they both have this big dichotomy. It's either very sad or very happy. This is the happy one.
love that dichotomy. It's when I truly, with the Irish especially and the Scottish, and when they're well, Patrick, when the skies were blue and happy, he was but he's like the skies, and when it got gray, he was really depressed. So, thanks for ending on a happy note. And speaking of ending on a happy note, thank you, Alberto, so much. And I invite our wonderful Rev. Lynn Chaplin-Noe to do our offertory statement and treat us out. Treat us in.
It's about time. Wow. My oldest baby is a Danny. So every time I hear that song, I go, oh. That was much better. Thank you. All right. Will the ushers please come forward? Will the usherette please come forward? We're blessed to have you. This is a wonderful time to express one of the qualities of God that we've been talking about, which is gratitude. And if we'd all like to say this offertory prayer, thank you, Christine, together, please. Divine love blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is, and that's the way it is. And I recommend, as I used to say when we were doing our Facebook Live, hold your offertory on your heart. And if you're just giving your love and your tithing your love and your talent today, hold your heart and hold these truths in your heart, that the generosity and the creativity and the beauty and the joy of God is present right here and right now. Here she goes. Happy feet. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much. And let's have a closing affirmative prayer right now. Let's close our eyes, please. And as I close my eyes and I'm aware of this presence of gratitude, of the abundant supply of love and creativity and generosity and beauty, kindness that is God. And knowing my oneness with this wonderful, wonderful showering intelligence of God, infinite intelligence, love, life, this wonderful expression of it in this moment, then I know that I bring these truths that I learned today, this wonderful discussion, and the great music and the outpouring of emotion and feelings, a talent. I know that these are my gifts to bring into my week. And so I do. I do remember all of the wonderful words, the wise words spoken by Reverend Pam and Lissa Coffey. I remember these words. I take them to heart as my great lessons for the day, and I give great gratitude for them. And I release these truths right now into the very, very true and real truth that this is my beautiful life to express. And so I release these truths into the law of mind. I allow divine mind to take care of the details while I step forward in joy and happiness, in gratitude for these loving truths. And together we say, and so it is. And so it's time for a song. It's coming up here on the screen. Come on, Rev Pam, come on up here. Let's get everybody, and you may stand if you'd like, and sing this wonderful song, Let There Be
And
Peace.
before we start even, I just want to thank everybody. Alberto, yay! Our wonderful Reverend, yay! Buzz, Lissa, and all our practitioners, and all Sandy and Marcia. And Marcia, great job. That's all I can say. She's our tech person today. So yay! Okay, and now we can sit or stand and sing our peace song. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. There is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my choice now. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I know it in my mind, I feel it in my body, I see it in my life, and so it is. Woo! Have a great